10 years ago, this E34 was abandoned in a field near Essex. Now, as you can see, those last 10 years have really taken its toll on this car, especially the rust. Now, we don't know the exact reason why it was parked, but I can probably take a wild guess it was something to do with this, or this, or this, or the fact that it needed a lot more work than we all anticipated. Now, the story goes that me and my friend Lewis actually bought a bulk of these BMWs back in the end of March, and basically what happened was we was told that you need to buy them all as a group. They all ran when they were parked, and what you see is what you get. So, risk involved, we went about buying them all. And this one here was the one that Lewis decided that he wanted to keep. Not only is it the slowest one out of them all, it's also the least desirable out of them all. And that is exactly what Lewis loves doing. But weirdly, it still has aircon and a manual gearbox. Not quite sure who was speccing this at the factory, but congratulations. But over the last couple of weeks, I've been performing some witchcraft on the rear end of the seals, and we are now 50% done in rust repair in this car. Unfortunately, it's an E34, so there's still more to be found. The front jacking point's the most common problem on an E34. And of course, it wouldn't be this car if it wasn't both sides at the same time. What we need to do to repair this properly is obviously take the front wings off, and I do believe we have to take off the front bumper in order to do that. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. This car was dumped in the bush. Everything is full of mud. I'm not joking. Look at this. Horrendous. Lewis is gonna have to come over here with a Hoover, I think. It's everywhere. Now, luckily for us, the rust doesn't expand underneath this little box here. If this was an E36, that would be all rotten, but looks like I spoke too soon. That is all rotten underneath the wing as well. Perfect. Really nice, that. This side was worse, both sides, which is weird because obviously this is the offside, so you'd think that side would be the more rotten side. This one was worse. Front and rear, so yeah, the joys. Fast forward 3 days. It's a Monday morning and we've got to go back on the E34. That last clip was Friday, it's now Monday. Let's get to repairing this, see how far back the rust actually goes and see what we're working with. Hopefully the inner sill is savable, which it feels like it is. Hopefully that is the case. 9 times out of 10 it isn't, but let's cross our fingers. That side's rusty, that side is all clean. So, I think we got away with it, really. We have our lovely galvanised panels. Let's cut a section out of those and trace around it. And then just tack it over the top and leave it at that. No, obviously not. Gonna trim this back a little bit. Don't want to go as high as the clip, so trim that down a bit. A little bit of trimming everywhere, really. And then I'll start scribing. That's a bit better. This is how 2-minute jobs turn into 5-hour jobs. Look how much isn't there. Ugh. Yeah, that's not very good. You know, that is, well, there's nothing left of that, annoyingly. But I guess what can you do about it? This is usually what happens. There's always more hidden below the skin that you need to repair. When someone comes up to me and says, oh, I've got a bit of rust, can you fix it? It's not that bad, it's just a little bit of bubbling. It doesn't matter. If it's brown on the outside, no good. There's gonna be terribleness on the inside as well, because that's how these cars go. It's not that bad. It is. It always is. And this is why, because now I've got to replicate the jacking point without even a reference point really, because there's nothing there to reference off. So yeah, I've got to a point now where I can actually trace the panel that we've cut out already. Now all the high spots are gone around these bumps, we can actually get an accurate representation of where it wants to sit, and we can scribe it from there. Again, the panel is, well, not really the right shape. Shock, what are you gonna do about it? But we can get it close. So let's scribe around it and cut the rest out. And luckily our inner sill is savable, so that's good. Obviously I'll treat all that. Just have to make this little inner structure here, which is annoying, but it is what it is. I'm gonna probably try and simplify it. It's probably not gonna be perfectly OEM. I'm gonna try and make something with this and see what I come up with. Next. Something like that. Obviously there's a bit more work going into it, but I am literally figuring this out as it goes, so yeah, bear with me on this one. I might be doing some massaging right now, but yeah, bear with. Guessing at the minute. Luckily we have the sill panel, which that is going to sit on like there, but I'm just trying to make a nice bulge into it so we can spot it. 2 here and 2 here, basically. That is the plan. We'll see what happens. Alright, after much beating, we're at a shape now where it's still not perfect, like it really doesn't fit, but it's such an awkward contour, and I'm basically gonna start on this corner, cut it out, put that in, weld it around that corner, and then just beat the metal into the shape of the rest of it. not bad, not terrible, not great. It's a very awkward shaped piece, so yeah, going about making that was actually quite difficult. Maybe they make a panel for that, I don't know. It's gonna do the job, and that's all that matters really, because you know, this is going over the top of it and it doesn't matter. Arguably, I could have just sort of squared it off, didn't worry about the swage lines and overlapped a load of things, but I thought that was the better option. It's gonna work for us anyway. So now the hard bit's done. That's got to go on there somewhere. Nice. That is our panel tucked in. Obviously, I'm going to take a while to, get all this welded up. Go to this tack, 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 to this tack. So it takes a while. So make sure you don't put too much heat in one spot. Move over to here, then there. That's why I've done big gaps in it. Basically, you just got to take your time as you're doing it. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do for the next half an hour, 40 minutes. Just make sure I get all this covered up. Nice. That is almost the finished result. A couple of little, imperfections where the weld is overlapping. Probably grinding a little bit more in there, but to be honest, you don't need to. It's beyond the skirt. I'd like to be able to get behind it and hammer and dolly it, but obviously you can't get behind the back of a sill. So heat management while you're welding is quite important, which is quite a lot of these imperfections is when you know, you tack here and those two panels will sort of move in between themselves, so you get an edge like that. Even though they were flush, and you could see in the video, I was making sure they were flush all the way along. Sometimes you get a bit of movement, and that's the result. Also, stuff like this, when I'm hitting it with a hammer, it's always gonna create flat spots and stuff, so yeah. That is done. The only thing I need to do now is fold this return edge, like we did on the rear seals. Fold that round back on itself. I've just primed the inside of there, just to make sure there's no bare metal or anything. And yeah, that is the finished article. One, two, and then three. We are one jacking point away from being completely rust-free. Obviously, I gotta do that one. Which is undoubtedly a lot worse than what this side was, but yeah, it is what it is. We got one side done in this video. Not much going on, just showing you more of the process of how I go about doing all the welding stuff. A lot of people said they want to see more of like in-depth sort of like every single process of what goes on when doing these repairs, because I like to cut out a few things because it's not easy to film. So I spent a little bit more time in this video showing every single step and guide of how I'm doing it. You might do it differently. There's lots of different ways to do things, and that is how I got that one done today. So let me know what you think. For me personally, I think that's like a 6 out of 10 repair. It's not flawless, it's solid, protected. It's average. It works. It's all underneath the side skirt. You're never gonna see it. Every time I try to do a repair, I always try to do it a little bit better, and that one didn't go as well as I'd like, but it's all right. It'll do the job. Let me know what you think about that. Now, I don't want to make it sound like I'm putting myself down there, but I'm just trying to better myself every time I do a repair. So yeah, there's people out there that will literally just put the panel over the top and stitch around the repair, and then just overlap all the panels. Bodge artists, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not one of those people. Tried to make it as nice as possible, so that when you do give it to like a painter or someone to finish it off, they have as minimal work to do as possible, which means a better job overall. So yeah, always trying to better myself. I don't know what I'm going to be filming this week. It's probably going to be on this, but also might, as I teased in the last video, which everyone seemed to enjoy, getting a lot of good feedback on the recent videos, and the retention and views are all higher. So I think I'm doing something right. But anyway, yeah, I might be filming stuff on my blue E34 that I'm giving away. I said in the last video that I might be giving it away and it might be open Friday. That's up in the air still, I don't know. I did say don't hold me to it, but it might be happening Friday. So we'll see what happens. It'll be either a video on this or a video on my E34. Either way, it's gonna be an E34. So yeah, comment down below what you think about this. Comment what you wanna see next. Comment what you think that I've bought. So I bought a project, which everyone that's watching these videos will definitely be enjoying it, and a lot more other people, I'm assuming. But have a guess what I bought. Just random guess. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. In the next video, I will have had a haircut and a shave, so one looks so homeless. Thank you very much. Goodbye.